Okay, so now comes the scariest part for me. So these are the legs, and I need to cut a notch for this to sit in. And originally I was going to run it all the way through, make sort of a lap joint in the middle. And I got thinking about it, and I've got a dovetail router bit. And I thought, well, maybe that will work better. It'll be a much more secure because it's sort of a triangular shaped notch, mortise and tenon. So, not really mortise and tenon. So now I need to cut out the notch in each leg, and then I will go back and form the other dovetail on the ends of the boards, and it should ideally just slide right in there and lock in place. But this is a little scary to set up, because if I screw it up, I'm really screwed. So I've really taken my time. I've done some practice things to make sure that this looks like it's going to work. So I think I have everything set up, and we're going to go from here. Okay, so I don't have a router table. So I was trying to figure out what to do. So in using my Shopsmith here, I said, well, I can fit the router bit in here in the chuck. And then if I measure it just right, I should be able to then just get the right height from the table to the bottom of the chuck, the right height from there to there, and I should be able to cut the dovetail. So I've done, like I said, I've done some practices, and we've got it. So it should be the right distance here, should be the right distance here. Everything should be locked down. And so we're going to give it a go. There you go. So now I'm just going to do the other one. There you go. 2 dovetails. I have to clean up, square off the ends here with some chisels, but hopefully that's it. Now I just got to do the other legs. Okay, so today we need to cut these with little dovetails so that they will slide in there. And so through much trial and error, I think I have figured it out. I've done an initial cut on this piece, and I did it intentionally so that it wouldn't quite fit. So I need to trim it just a little bit because I want to be able to trim it right down to exactly the size. I didn't want to use the machine and get too much. So they are just a little bit oversized, but then I can use my chisels to get them right down to the exact size. But, so we're trying to do the little tails now. I'll show you how that goes. Okay, so we've got our dovetail bit in here, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the board in here, and we're going to slide it under this. and it should dig out the tail for us. I've got them all marked into how to line up the depth, you know, and the depth this way. And then this depth is, like I said, just a little bit short of what I want, so that I can then finish it off with a chisel. So then we'll show you how this works. Okay, so we've got a very thin knife mark, which is a groove I've cut in there, so that the depth or where I want to line up the end. So I'm just going to line that up here, just about what I want, not quite exactly. Okay, and then we're going to run it through. There you go. So I do need to trim just a little bit here and a little bit more here with my chisel just to make sure it fits just exactly right. But that was intentional. And then we'll just flip it over and we'll do that again. That one's just a little bit off, so we might run it to a second pass here. But that's okay, we'll fix that. So there you go. Tails are in there. You know, they need to be just a little bit deeper, just a little bit further this way, but we can fix that up with a chisel. I just wanted to do the initial cuts with the dovetail jig, and then we'll finish those up by hand, just to make sure they're just right. Okay, so today, after we have machined a little bit of the dovetail, now we're going to clean it up. And as I don't know if you can actually see there, the dovetail doesn't actually come to a point on the corners here. It sort of flattens off. And that's the purpose I left it, so I could shave it down. And I have gone off, and I don't know if you can see it really well. Maybe on this one. I've done some knife lines, some marking knife lines. On either dove, on either side of the dovetails, that's where I want to get to. That's where I want to shave down to, both the depth as well as the line right over here. So basically from here on out, I'm just going to basically use a chisel and just slowly but surely work my way down to that line. And that should be just about it. And I'm just going to repeat that on every single one. Okay, so we got all the dovetails cut, cleaned up. So we can actually start doing a little bit of dry fit here. To show you guys what this might look like. The legs. Basic top. So there's your basic structure. The next thing we got to do, I'm going to put this shelf in. So what I'm going to do is put a couple of notches in these legs on the inside here, so that basically this can slide into these legs and sit like that. And then we'll basically obviously glue it all up, etc. But that's your basic form. You know? We're going to go from here.